The night after the Darkwood glade felt different from all the nights before. Ilara slept lightly, as though the world itself were breathing around her, waiting. The stars above seemed closer, brighter, pulsing gently in time with the melodies she had awakened. Even in her dreams, music followed her, soft echoes of laughter, distant humming, and the low, steady rhythm of courage building quietly within her heart. She awoke before dawn to a strange stillness, not the heavy silence of the shadow she had faced before, but something sharper, more watchful. Lumo hovered near her shoulder, his glow dimmer than usual, flickering like a candle in a draught. "The silence knows you now," he said softly. "It has felt the harm you've done to its hold. From this moment on, it will no longer wait." Ilara sat up, gripping her violin, though it felt warm, reassuring, as if it understood her fear. She looked around the forest glade one last time, the sparkling flowers, the gentle hum of restored life, and felt a quiet sadness at leaving it behind. Places healed by music always felt like friends. Still, she knew the journey had continued. Somewhere ahead lay the heart of the silence, and between her and that darkness were melodies that had been hidden far deeper than the rest. As they moved forward, the land changed again. The colors of the world faded into muted blues and grays, and the air grew heavier with every step. The trees thinned until forest gave way to a vast open plain of cracked stone, stretching endlessly toward the horizon. No wind stirred here. No insects buzzed. Even Lumo's wings made no sound as he hovered beside her. At the center of the plain stood a towering structure made of black crystal, jagged and unnatural, as if it had grown straight out of the ground. Thin streams of shadow flowed toward it like rivers, carrying whispers of forgotten songs. Ilara felt a pressure in her chest, a weight of sorrow that did not belong to her alone. This place was built from loss. This is one of the silence's anchors, Lumo explained. A place where stolen melodies are trapped and twisted. If we can free even one here, its grip will weaken. Ilara swallowed her fear and stepped closer. With every step, memories not her own brushed against her thoughts. Children forgetting lullabies, old musicians laying down instruments they no longer remember how to play, villages growing quiet not from peace, but from emptiness. Her eyes stung with tears, yet her hands remained steady as she lifted the violin. She began with a single note. It trembled in the air, fragile but defiant. The black crystal reacted immediately, cracks of dull light flickering across its surface, as if something inside were stirring. The shadows thickened, curling toward her like smoke, trying to smother the sound. Ilara closed her eyes and played louder, pouring every ounce of love she had ever felt for music into the strings. The ground beneath her feet vibrated. A low, distorted echo rose from the crystal, fighting her melody with a broken imitation of sound. Pain flashed through her head, and she stumbled, nearly falling to her knees. Lumo darted forward, his glow flaring. "Don't listen to it," he urged. "It only repeats what it steals. Your music is alive." Clinging to those words, Ilara changed her tune. She played not to overpower the darkness, but to remind it of what it had forgotten. The melody softened, becoming warm and gentle, like a hand reaching out in the dark. Slowly, the echoes shifted. The distorted sound began to unravel, breaking apart into fragments of real music. Lullabies, dances, simple tunes hummed while working or walking home. With a final, resonant chord, the crystal shattered. Light burst outward, washing over the plain in waves. The shadows screamed not in anger but in loss, as the stolen melodies escaped, rising into the sky like flocks of glowing birds. The cracked stone beneath Ilara's feet began to heal, thin green lines spreading like veins as life remembered how to grow. Ilara collapsed to the ground, breathless. Lumo hovered above her, brighter now than he had been in days. "You freed thousands of voices," he said in awe, "but the silence will feel this deeply. It will come for you." They did not rest long. The sky above the plain darkened unnaturally, clouds swirling into a massive spiral. From its center descended a shape far larger than any shadow Ilara had faced before. It was not formless like the others, but tall and imposing, its edges sharp, its presence overwhelming. Where its gaze fell, sound died instantly. So the silence spoke, not aloud, but directly into Alara's mind. Its voice was hollow, echoing. You are the one who remembers. Alara forced herself to stand, legs shaking. I remember because I listen, she replied, surprised by the strength in her own voice. And because the world still wants to sing. The silence laughed, a sound like glass grinding together. The world is tired, it said. Songs fade. Stories end. I am only the quiet that comes after. No, Alara said, lifting her violin once more. You are the quiet that comes when no one's allowed to speak. The battle that followed was unlike any before. The silence did not attack with force, but with doubt. Images flooded Alara's mind. Visions of her failing, of the melodies fading again after she was gone, of a world that forgot her efforts as easily as it had forgotten its songs. Her fingers faltered on the strings, and the light dimmed. Lumo flew close, placing a tiny glowing hand against her cheek. You don't carry the music alone, he said gently. Every melody you free lives on others. Alara remembered the silent village lighting up, the child laughing under stars, the flowers humming in the glade. She remembered her grandmother's voice, steady and warm by the fire. Strength returned to her hands. She played. This time, the melody was not just hers. It was layered, rich, filled with echoes of every sound she had restored. The air vibrated with harmony. The silence recoiled, its form fracturing as cracks of light spread through it. You cannot destroy me, it hissed. Silence always returns. Alara held its gaze. Maybe, she said softly, but so does music. With one final note, clear, strong, and fearless, the shadow shattered, dissolving into a harmless mist that drifted away on a breeze that hadn't existed moments before. The sky cleared. Sound rushed back into the world like a held breath finally released. Alara sank to her knees, exhausted beyond words. Lumos circled her, laughing with relief. You've done something no one has done in generations, he said. But this was not the heart of the silence, only its voice. Alara looked toward the horizon, where distant mountains loomed, dark and waiting. She felt fear, yes, but also something new. Confidence. Purpose. She rose slowly, violin in hand, pendant glowing against her chest. Then let's go find its heart, she said. And as she took her first step toward the final journey, the world answered, not with quiet, but with song.